12 dental school acceptances, including to every Ivy League dental school in the US, Harvard, Penn, and Columbia. I'm Dr. Andrew, the founder of Predenting Dental School Admissions Advising, and I'm going to present a case study to you, an interview with my client, Selena. Selena was able to go from feeling unsure about her chances of getting accepted to dental school and putting together an application that was extraordinary so that she could get accepted to her top choice schools, and ended up with an application that helped her get accepted to 12 dental schools, including to every Ivy League dental school, Harvard, Penn, and Columbia. After the interview is over, I'll come back on and let you know how you can have the opportunity to work with my team of former admissions officers and if you would like to get results like Selena. I'll show you what we can do for you, how we can help you, and if you want, you can book a time to speak with me for free. Can you start by introducing yourself and giving a little bit of a background?
Sure. My name is Selena. Currently, I'm a last year undergrad at NYU. Right now, I just committed to Harvard, and I'm very excited to start my new journey at dental school.
When you were in this position last year, getting ready to apply, what challenges were you facing with the application admissions process?
hmm It was kind of overwhelming to start, especially with filling out everything and having all the personal statement prepared, all the secondary essays, and just try to put together all my experiences, and also know trying to make sure that I have enough experiences to become a competitive applicant. And especially with myself being an international student, I had a lot of doubts, and I was like, if I could get into any dental school, that would be amazing. I was talking to some of my friends who got accepted last year, and they actually referred me to you, Andrew. And then afterwards, when I was working with you, I feel like I had a lot of guidance from you, and also with my existing experience, we were able to work something out to put together like a very impressive application, and as well as training about interviews and learning how to talk with the interviewers and to do it in a more strategic way. And I feel like overall, after getting every piece and bits of the application in, everything went very smoothly. And I was also I couldn't believe the number of interviews I got at the end.
Yeah, you absolutely knocked it out of the park. In terms of interviews, talk to me about how many interviews did you get and to what schools?
hmm I got a total of 12 interviews. The schools, most of them were in the Northeast region, including Columbia, NYU, uh, Toro, as well as Stony Brook. And then a couple in Boston. I got interviews from Harvard, and, as well as Case Western, UPenn, Nova, Rutgers, Michigan, Detroit Mercy, uh, and the University of Maryland. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and then acceptance day comes around. Where'd you get acceptances to?
I got accepted to all of them at the end.
Booyah. There we go. 100% conversion rate to where you interviewed. That's amazing. So that's obviously extraordinary. That doesn't happen. One, getting 12 acceptances, even five, six, seven acceptances is crazy. You end up getting 12 acceptances and to some of the most competitive schools. And as an international student, which makes it even more difficult throughout this process, going through the application materials in terms of putting together a great personal statement, secondary essays, activity descriptions, application questions, even those minor parts, having done that and perfected all those different parts of your application, would you say that has a big influence in terms of helping you stand out from all the other people who have really high GPAs and DATs and the thousands of other applicants?
Definitely. I think the writing portion, all the essays, kind of tells the admissions the real side of you, who you really are as a person. So I think starting by gathering all the information, and just thinking about the little bits and pieces of who you really are, your unique experiences, and just writing them out rather than rushing to writing a perfect essay really helped in the beginning, especially when we brainstormed together all like my experiences and really found things that made me more unique. And I think that definitely made my personal statement shine. And as well as the other secondary essays, there were also lots of revisions, even with those. And I think every step made the difference, and that it accumulated to a big change.
Yeah, and it definitely showed with the 12 interviews and 12 acceptances. Once we started going through interview prep and you were going through the actual interviews, were you asked a lot of the questions during your actual interviews in terms of those questions that we practiced and prepared for?
Yes, definitely. I think especially with Ivy schools, I remember a lot of the basic, like the 10 basic questions or 11, I forgot the number, but those basic questions, they came up very often. And I feel like having practice during this interview prep process with you really helped, because I was able to like really try to think about polishing it rather than struggling to find something to talk about. And even with those new questions that I've never seen, a lot of the answers that we practice can be used interchangeably, because I believe like no matter what question, the wording they use, the exact question they use, they really just want to get to know you on a more personal level, as well as to see how you will perform in a dental setting, in a healthcare setting. So I think the essence are always the same, and having prepped and practiced for the interview really made a big difference to me. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. That's what this is all about, getting you prepared and able to convert those interviews into acceptances. And obviously that worked out well since 100% of your interviews got converted into acceptances and to such amazing schools. Overall, how was the process working together?
I really, really enjoyed it. I felt like I had no support in the beginning until I found you to work with. And I felt like you were always there whenever I had a question. I don't have to just search on Google and I see all these different opinions. I could have a more reliable source for me, and I could always get in touch with you either through email or text messages or phone calls. It really gave me a lot more confidence and make me feel a lot more comfortable with the application process. And I felt myself like less anxious or less in the like rushing the process, and knowing that I will be able to finish as long as I keep in track and just keep myself on top of my things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was probably a lot going through 12 interviews, but I like to think if your biggest problem throughout this process is having too many interviews, it's probably a good problem to have.
That's true. Yeah.
Acceptance day came, you got 12 acceptances, including Harvard. How did that feel? What did that mean to you?
In the beginning, I was kind of anxious, hoping that I would get a one acceptance. And then afterwards, I was just kind of waiting on like my dream schools, which included like Columbia and Harvard. And I was so thrilled when Harvard called me and I saw the number was from Massachusetts, and I couldn't believe myself. I was thinking like, which other schools did I interview there? And then turned out to be Harvard, and I just couldn't believe it.
Having gone through this process, would you recommend other pre-dentals use pre-denting?
Definitely. I think it's such like a good way to guide you, especially if like you have no healthcare professional or like pe family members in dentistry, especially if you find yourself struggling with like what to do with every part of the application. That's like something that I was struggling so much. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to start. But I feel like having a guidance and having a very reliable source who can really support you through the process made a very big difference to me. So I would definitely recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, happy to hear that. And thank you for the endorsement. What's your advice to pre-dentals who are in the shoes you were last year and are gearing up to apply? What's your recommendation or advice to them?
hmm I think start the application process early and to really learn about yourself rather than trying to be like someone, just be yourself and take every trait that you have to the best advantage possible. And again, just to be very consistent with things, persistent with things. And I wish everyone good luck with their application for the next cycle.
If you'd like to get the same strategies, the insights, the one-on-one coaching and mentoring to help you get results like Selena, click the link below to schedule a time to speak with me about helping you get accepted to your dream dental schools too.